Before you say anything, no, this is not a person, that's just a stump. But I thought that for a second. So I'm out here, and I've been kind of feeling like I need to talk about this subject, or like saying, mantra, saying, thought. I wouldn't call it an epiphany, but it definitely came to me over the past week or two after, well, I watched this movie Arrival that my friend recommended. I definitely recommend you watch that. You watch that if you haven't seen it. It's from like 2016, so it's kind of old. But it had a lot of interesting thoughts in it about our timeline, what matters to us in life, and the concept of like, even if like you would love so much, and then someone's so great and then you would lose them, like, would you ever like give that back, or not? And I wouldn't, especially after watching the movie. So yeah, check that out. It's still just the stuff. Yeah, but also this is sort of relating to like, well, let me just tell you the saying and then we'll expound upon it. Because I was driving around before some work I was doing, and I just thought about how you are always where you need to be when you need to be there. You're always where you you could say it a couple of ways. You're always where you should be when you should be there. You're always where you need to be. I like need to be when you need to be there. Which, upon first saying it, I was like, is that true? Like, you could be late for an appointment. You could miss your kid's birthday party by accident or something, right? Something bad like that. But I do believe it still, because if you think about like the multiverses and how like there could be infinite possibilities and paths in life, and then how we are always experiencing the one that brings us forward is what I like to believe, like spiritually. Like, I don't think ascending into the afterlife is necessarily always the split second thing. I think it could take a lot of steps. But I digress. Yeah, it just helps me. I like to say it. You're always where you need to be when you need to be there. So I was also thinking about it in the realm of like quantum physics, which is a little bit above my, like, I wouldn't say pay grade, above my know-how. But it does intrigue me, and I know I loved chemistry. So anyway, recently they turned off CERN for like improvements, adjustments. It's gonna be like 4 to 5 years. It's gonna be turned off, and I wouldn't say I notice anything different, but I was watching things about it, and it made me think more about like atoms and particles, the particles that make the atoms, how they're all bouncing around, how we're made of them, the space we're in consists of them. And it's still up for debate, like, if there's like negative space, like dark matter, if it's like negative space, or if it's just still more matter. But yeah, even all of those atoms, like when you pour the water into your cup, like all of those atoms are in that cup for you to drink. Like they are where they need to be when they need to be there. Or like when you go and plug your phone in, like I'm gonna do after this video because it's gonna kill my phone. All of those electrons came from wherever their source is, the delivery fee, right? But they came through the wire and charged your phone, and magically they are where they need to be when we need them to be there. The phone knows how to manipulate them through code and chips and things to make me be on this screen. Like that's even crazy. So yeah, I think it's just one of those thoughts that like helps simplify things for me. But like we're always where we need to be when we need to be there. And yeah, hindsight's 2020, I know that, but if you look back on things, if you're someone like myself and you've moved a lot maybe, or you've had a lot of different jobs, like sometimes in the moment, right, it doesn't feel like you're where you belong, but you are, because there's nowhere else that you could be, unless you want to invent teleportation, but like that would arguably be another reality. So yeah, just something to think about. You're always where you need to be when you need to be there. And I think it's a calming but interesting statement. I'm sure some people would argue that it's not true, but I do think it's true. I do think it's true that like if all of these atoms are always in the spot that they need to be to like configure the reality around us, then so are we. So yeah. All right, bye.